Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to you all. And I welcome each and every one of you here. If you are joining live, if you are catching a replay, I welcome you. So, my name is Ikia, as you all know, Ikia Safo, and I'm a co founder for the Peak Parent Academy. And today, so in the inner tribe, this month, our focus for this month is on emotional awareness, and that is why we are breaking them down in our free Tuesday classes, so that you will also be able to have an idea what all of these things are about. These are just tips and hacks that we give, but if you want the detail, the real thing, you have to, of course, join the inner tribe. So today is another day, and I believe I can be heard. So I want us to just move on with today's class. And last week we spoke about, how raising emotionally intelligent children starts with us as parents. Yes, our role in how our children can actually develop or become emotionally intelligent is very, very key. We are the most significant emotional role models in the lives of our children. You can't take that away. We are very, very key when it comes to modeling emotional intelligence. It is very key. It is important. Like, we play a major role in that. For us to be able to raise our children to become intelligent, it actually depends on us. And that is why we are actually trying to bring you this series, so that we can, every day as we keep learning, we'll be able to learn to control our emotions, so that we will also be able to help our children able to control this. So yes, I welcome you once again. If you haven't shared this link, please um, share. You can share to your friends, family, any WhatsApp group at all that you are in, so that, especially to parents, parents, I mean everyone, emotional intelligence is a survival skill. As I said last week, it's a skill that is actually needed. We all need to have build that skill. And for you to be able to teach your child about emotional intelligence, you need to be an emotionally intelligent parent. Yes. If you are not, you can't teach it. If you don't practice it, if you don't learn, if you don't practice, you can't teach it. That is why it's important. It all starts with us as parents. Yes. It's all, parenting is all about us. Without we as parents being in control of our emotions, we won't be able to help our children, be able to control their emotions. So yes, you can share this link. If you are catching a replay, you can share this link to other parents, so that they can also watch and learn something. It's free, it's a free class. So yes, we all can benefit from it. So um without actually naming our emotions, yes, today's class is about how we can help our children identify, okay, and name their emotions. For you to be able to control the emotions that you feel, you should be able to name it. What emotion you are feeling, then you'll be able to name the emotion that you are feeling. If you are joining now, I welcome you to this class. You can share your name. You can write your name, so that I know who is joining in, so that I'll know who is here with me. So I welcome you once again. So, as I said, for us to be able to teach emotional intelligence, we need to be able to have it as parents. And if our children, I always say that children are born with so many emotions. They are born, they have the emotions, they feel, they throw tantrums and all of that. It's something that every child does, okay? But they lack the skill to be able to regulate themselves, because they can't talk. Most of the time, when you want something, if you want to see this thing, okay, you can go to a place where you can't speak anyone's language, and they don't also understand the language that you speak, and you will see how frustrated you will be. Like, because you lack the language to express yourself, you feel it triggers you, and then you begin to have your emotions and all of that. So children, express their emotions. They throw tantrums because they don't have the right words to actually express themselves. Okay, so that is why we are there, because of the several emotions they go through, the experience, and all of that. That is why it is our job as parents to help them to be able to regulate their emotions. If not, they begin to, they are everywhere, they do things and all of that. And we don't have to leave them or watch them, do that. Or we don't have to also be out of control where, like the normal things most parents do, when your child is throwing tantrums, you also get angry and then you beat the child, you shout, yell at the child, which at the end of the day make things even worse. If your child's cry is always triggering you, then please, you need to actually work on your emotions, because children are children, they will cry. You have to know that, okay, the child is crying, maybe the child needs something, or maybe something is wrong with the child, that is why they are crying. So you need to learn how to go about it, ways to handle all of that. And that is why emotional intelligence is very, very important as parents. Emotional intelligence is very, very important. It's a survival skill. We need to have that skill. It's very, very important. Okay. So we need to teach the children emotional vocabularies. So most of the times, all we know is happy, sad, angry. These three emotions are the things that only emotions that we actually know or we talk about. And most of the times too, when a child expresses or experiences or have an emotion, we go like, why do you have to be angry? Why are you feeling this way? As if they don't have the right to express or have or experience that emotion. But we are humans. We all have emotions. There are things that actually triggers us. There are times that we experience emotions because of maybe situations, things that happen around us. Okay, so if we don't learn how to regulate these emotions that we feel, at the end of the day, the society, so imagine a society where most people are not able to control, about 99% of the population is not able to control themselves. Like, just look at that. Mostly some societies are in chaos, fighting here and there. Even let me bring it down to the families. Okay, there are some families, there is no peace in the family, conflicts in the family here and there, things that could have been resolved amicably, okay, without any form of without them turning into a whole different thing, because most people, most parents, most families, members of families lack emotional intelligence. Things most of the times get out of control. And parents, there are some stories that if you hear, it's really, really, really sad. There are some stories that are really sad. So we need to learn emotional intelligence. We need to begin to teach emotional intelligence. When your child, immediately you give birth to your child, okay, age 2, from age 2 you can begin to teach emotional intelligence. But first of all, ensure that you are in control of your emotions, because what you do is what the child will do. When a child is angry or when a child is crying and you are also shouting, yelling, you are teaching the child that that is how you respond to something. So you need to first of all look at yourself, check yourself, ensure that whatever emotion that you feel, you are communicating the right way to the child. To the child. It's not about you suppressing your emotion, but it's about you communicating and expressing, being aware of how you are feeling, and then naming how you are feeling so that the child will know that, okay, we all experience emotions, yes, but there is also a way that you can actually cool down. Okay, there is a way you can manage the emotion that you are feeling. So it's important that we take note of this. We need to learn. There's the emotional wheel. We have the emotional wheel. I'm sure when you go online, you search emotional wheel, you will see it. So many kinds of emotions that you can print out and then paste into your room or whatever, wherever that everyone in the family can see. then you can begin to teach the different kinds of emotions that we feel per time. So it's very important that we note all of this. And today's class is actually going to be a short class. We are not going to do up to an hour. So I want us to actually take notes and learn what I am talking about very well. So when children, okay, children most of the time, they don't, as I said, they are not able to communicate because they don't understand how they are feeling. Children don't misbehave because they are bad. No, they misbehave because they haven't been able to they haven't been taught to name the storm, the emotion that is going on inside them. And that is how or why they misbehave. Yes, that is why they misbehave. They don't know how to name what they are feeling. So, for instance, if your child doesn't know how to, maybe if they are sad, okay, and they don't know how to name it, they don't even know they don't they are not at a stage where they can actually express themselves to you. If you don't know how to express that thing to you, when they are sad, they feel some way. Sometimes they may cry, they may do all of that. But if they know that this is how I'm feeling, I am sad, they can come to you, mommy or daddy. I feel sad because this or that. Okay, then you'll be able to help them. Okay, you validate their emotion, then you'll be able to help them, control that feeling so that they can be in a state where things are normal and okay for them. So they misbehave, or they put up these kind of misbehaviors, not because they are bad. Sometimes we think that children do certain things and all we are focused on is they are bad, they are this, they are that. We label them, okay? We label them, but we don't have to give, because of what they do, their attitudes or behaviors, we don't have to give like or label them. It doesn't define them. No, it doesn't mean that they are bad children. They are not bad. It's an emotion and they lack the right way. So they are telling you, it's a way that they are communicating to you that, mommy or daddy, this is how I feel. I want you to help me be able to regulate my emotions. So imagine you are not able to, you don't understand the child. You yourself as an adult, you don't even know what to do to control your emotions. So imagine how it's going to be for the child. So it's sometimes tough for them. But if we are able to calm down and listen to them and look at them, help them, give them strategies they can actually help control or manage their emotions, everything will be okay for them. Then they will begin to learn, okay, emotions are normal. It is okay to have your emotions, but there's also a way that you can control the emotions that you feel. So knowing what to say when children knowing what they say, what to say when they experience the emotions they feel every day actually helps them to be able to regulate or control their emotions. So how do you develop your child's emotional skills? Let's look at the stages. First of all, they need to be able to recognize their emotions. If they are able to recognize their emotions, it will help them, okay? It will help them to know how they are feeling per time. So first of all, whenever you feel any type of, or you see your child, teach them that whenever you feel a certain way, just look at, that is what we call self-awareness. Okay. Focus on yourself. Think about it. How am I feeling? Am I feeling excited? Because sometimes when you are sad, you may interpret it as a different kind of emotion. Okay. So teach them that when you feel this way, focus on yourself. How are you feeling? Why are you feeling, the way you are feeling? Let them be able to recognize that emotion that they are feeling. And then after that, let them be able to label the emotions that they feel. Help them name the emotion, teach them to name. That is why the emotional wheel is there. So whenever they feel that kind of emotion, you go to the emotional wheels and then you begin to, but first of all, you need to actually teach it before they experience those emotions. So it should be an everyday, life lessons that you teach them. You need to teach them the different kinds of emotions, so that whenever they feel the emotions, they know, okay, this is how I am feeling, and this is how I can control or manage the emotions that I feel. Okay, never ever criticize a child. Never ever let or make a child feel like that, like the emotions that they are feeling is bad, or they don't have the right to feel the emotions that they are feeling. Never ever do that. Always learn to validate their emotions. We will get there. Okay, so when you help them, teach them how they can label or name their emotions, then you help them, be able to express their emotions. Because once they are able to name the emotion, they will be able to express how they are feeling. They will be able to express themselves appropriately. It's very important. Recognize the emotions, label, express the emotions. When they're able to, recognize, when they're able to name the emotion, they will be able to express themselves appropriately. You can't teach your child to manage, their emotions when you haven't taught them to name or identify the emotions first. You can't teach your child to regulate their emotions when you haven't taught them to name how they are feeling first. So it's important that you teach. This is how, you know, this is anger. You teach them the different types of emotions: anger, happiness, excitement, sad, all of the emotions. Go online and download the emotional wheel. It is online. Just download and print them out. You can print it out so that you can begin to teach your children about it. It will help you. Or when we are done, I'll share a photo of the emotional wheel tool on our community, okay, in our community, so that you can also know about it. And then you print it out and begin to teach your children. Parenting is an intentional journey. You need to be very intentional about it. These things, some people may think that it's not important, but it is very, very, very important. The kind of people we are raising today, tomorrow, whatever that will come out of it is as a result of what we are doing today. So if we are not paying attention today, if we are, trivializing certain things, tomorrow it will show up. It will show up. So we need to intentionally, as I always say, you don't have to be there 24/7, but you can dedicate a time that you teach these things to the child, because they need it. It is a skill. We focus most of the times on, intelligence, on the IQ, but we need to, in this century, if you don't teach emotional intelligence to your child, they will suffer. It's a skill, as I said, it is a survival skill that we all need. So take some time every day and then teach about emotional intelligence to your child. It can even be your goal for the year, or for the remaining, months for the year. It can be your goal. You can tell yourself that I want to build emotional intelligence kids. Most people get into trouble because of their inability to control themselves. So you see, it's a skill that is needed. So you need to be intentional about it and then begin today to teach your children. So after you have taught them to recognize, okay, to label, to express, then you teach them to regulate the emotions. They can learn how to manage how their feelings, everyone, emotions, irrespective of how, emotionally unintelligent you are. You can start today to actually learn to regulate your emotions. And it is taught, it is learned. It is not a skill that you are born with or we are born with. No, we all learn emotional. I have learned emotional intelligence skills for the past 5 years, and I still learn. I am still learning it, because yes, I want to master that skill. So it's important that we learn gradually. For me, as I always say, I believe in the process. You can't just want to have it all at once. It's a process that we need to go through to get better, so that we can become emotionally intelligent parents, to raise our kids to also become emotionally intelligent. So let me teach you add some more ways you can actually, develop the emotional skills in your child. You about the feelings wheel. Okay, let me talk a little bit about the feelings wheel, or the emotional wheel. It's a visual tool, okay, that actually helps children to be able to recognize and understand the wide range of emotions that they feel. So as I said, it's something round like that. For kids in the reading minds, we sent it to them. Our theme this month, our focus this month, is about emotional intelligence in the reading minds as well. So it was given to parents to actually print out for the kids to learn about the different kinds of emotions. So as I've said too, I will send into our WhatsApp community for parents to print out for their children to learn. I believe that emotional intelligence is actually a skill that is very, very important that we need to learn. So that is about the emotional wheel. Now, this is how you can use it. You need to show the feelings wheel to your child, okay? And explain that it can help them identify and name their emotions. So when you print it out, for what I tell parents most of the time is print it out. Okay, you can print it on a very big, I think, is it A3, an A3 sheet, the hard one, or you can also use just the soft one, and then you laminate it nicely, and then you hang it in your room, and then begin to teach your children these are the various kinds of emotions that we have. And whenever you feel a certain type of emotion, so sometimes you can role play, you can act out how maybe an angry person, how you will see when you're angry, this is how you feel, or this is how you show that, what shows that you are angry. Or when you are excited, this is how you feel when you're excited. When you're happy, this is how you feel. When you are, frustrated, this is how you feel. So as you are role playing, you are helping them understand the different kinds of emotions. So whenever they feel that emotion, they know that this is a feeling of anger, or this is happiness, this is excited, all of that. It helps them to be able to gradually know about it. So you need to take note of that. Print that emotional hue out and begin to teach your children. It can also help you, because as you are teaching it, you are also learning. As you are teaching, you are also learning. And then you learn, about it, so that you can help the children. Children have emotions in them that if we don't help them, they will always be out of control. There are some kids who are very quiet, but immediately they get triggered, the things they do, sometimes you don't even understand it. And I know it's a problem for most parents. There are so many kids who are unable to regulate their emotions, and it will not help our society in the long term. That is why it's important that from today, if you didn't know what's gone is gone, now let's focus on what's ahead of us. Then now, and then what's ahead of us. So let's begin to teach emotional intelligence to our children. It's very, very important. And then you need to do a daily check-in, okay? You need to make it a routine to ask your child, maybe, how are you feeling today? Whenever they feel any kind of emotion at all, you let them know, how are you feeling today? Or maybe in the evenings, you can be asking them, how did you feel today? What were two emotions that you felt today? And how did you go about it? Make it something that you do daily. When you do that, it's not only about you letting the child name the emotions that they are feeling. It's about you letting the child know about the emotions, and also how they can regulate these emotions whenever they feel them. We all feel emotions. We all get angry. We all get, excited. We all have the various emotions. But what we lack is our ability to control them. So it's not really about the emotions, it's about how we are able to regulate those emotions consciously. And that is taught. So after you have printed out the emotional wheel or the feelings wheel, make sure that you are checking, how they are feeling every day. When they come back from school, you can ask them, so how did you feel today at school? What were two emotions that you felt, or even one emotion you felt today? And what did you do? What triggered that emotion? And what did you do to calm down or to manage the emotion that you felt? It is going to help them. You can make it, a practice. You can make it maybe once or twice in every week. You set an alarm setting is very important in parenting, because I know the pressures of life, sometimes you may forget, but the alarm will remind you what you have to do. So you set a time that you can ask the children the emotions that they felt and how they went about it. If they couldn't do anything, if maybe they overreacted because of the emotions that they felt, you can teach them. You can use that as a teachable moment. You teach them, okay, this is how you felt. It's okay. You validate the emotions, and then you tell them what they could do better next time. So it's very important that we actually do that. And then you can also discuss, some real life scenarios. You can give them examples, or you can use storytelling. Storytelling. You read stories to them, stories about emotional intelligence. There are some stories, some of the characters actually couldn't control their emotions, and it ended up some way that they didn't like. So, sorry. So you can actually use that storytelling or real life scenarios. You can give a situation. You can say something and ask them, if maybe you found yourself here, someone actually triggered you, you became angry, what would you do? Or you felt, when you saw someone, you liked the person. Love is an emotion. Okay, maybe you saw someone, you love the person. Maybe your child has grown, maybe from age 13, when they are in their teenage years, they have those kind of, puberty feelings and all of that. So you can find a way to ask them, and then let them know how they were feeling, how they can actually control the feeling, that love feeling, whenever they feel, they love someone or they like someone, how they can actually control themselves. Because yes, there's a way. Whatever you feel, there's a way you can actually control yourself. Now, talking about love feeling, I just wanted to pass this. Next month we are focusing on sex conversations, and we are going to teach. We have a course that we call the mastering sex conversation with your child. It's very important. Sex conversations, you can't do parenting because and ignore, sex conversations. It's one of the very, very, very important conversations that we have to have with our children. But most of the times we don't even say anything because we don't know how to go about it. We don't know how to have such conversations with the children. Some children may ask awkward questions about sex, and then what we do most of the time is we shut them. We tell them, no, you are young, you don't have to ask these questions. And then when we do that, what we are telling them is, go and ask someone else. And they can go online, or they can go and ask someone who also lacks, the knowledge about sex conversations. And then it ends up in a way that we don't want at all. So this course is actually a course that I will recommend for every parent. We need to learn about how we can sex educate our children appropriately. You can't do just anything and expect to have your child grow up, in all put together. No. I know even the word sex, most parents are not comfortable with the word sex. They can't even mention it. And yes, we are going to teach you. You are going to get a replay of our class last year, the sex education class we had at the sex education master class. We are going to have a replay of that when you register for this course, and you're going to get 4 free guides. Yes, 4 free guides. We are going to give it to you for free, and that guide will help you in your sex conversations with your child. One of the guides is the conversations you must have before your child turns 10. So if you have a child below 10, yes, the sex conversations begin from the very first day. You need to start teaching it, but there's a way. You don't necessarily have to, mention some words, but there's a way to actually go about it. There's a way to teach about it. So that was just by the way. I thought I should mention, so that registration link or details will be shared later, so that if you are interested, you can actually register for the course. And if you have, or if you bring 5 of your friends, okay, or your family or other parents to register, you are going to register. We are going to get it for free. You are going to get it for free. Hello, Mamiesi. Mamiesi, I welcome you here. I welcome you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for joining us. I see you. I see you. All right. So yes, as I was saying about the sex educate class, the mastering sex conversations with your child course. It's a course that is actually very, very, very important. I can't overemphasize that, but we are going to talk more about we are going to on our Tuesday classes, we are going to look at some conversations about sex, and it's going to be from next month. We are going to talk about them. But if you want the deep things, and if you want all of these guides for free, and also a replay of last year's class, you need to register for it. And we are not going to teach exactly the same thing we taught last year. No. There's a whole different, topic we are going to discuss this year's mastering sex education, conversations with your child. It's going to be a whole new topic about sex conversation. So don't miss it. You can tell your family, your friends. It's something that every parent needs. Every parent must have with their children. The silence is not going to solve anything. Those who molest our children, they are not silent. So the LGBTQ society, those communities, they are not keeping quiet. So we don't also have to be quiet. We have to talk. We have to open up. Some conversations may be hard, but we need to face our heart and have those conversations with our children. Some children are suffering because their parents are quiet and ignorant. Don't stay ignorant. There's always a way. There is always a way, okay, about every challenge that you are facing. So yes, that is just by the way. So let's move on with class today. So I was saying something about storytelling, using storytelling to teach your children about emotional regulation or emotional skills. Yes, most of the stories that we read for us in our home, most of the stories I sometimes, when we are doing our bedtime stories, I try to let's pick a particular character and then we talk about them. So imagine you are this person. What would you have done in this situation? Or sometimes even a movie, when you're watching a movie together with the kids, and maybe there's a scene that someone couldn't control their emotions, or someone was also able to control themselves, you can use that. You can pause the movie and use that, as a teachable moment, something to teach the child about, and ask them, if they were this person, what would they have done? Or this person was able to control themselves and they got this out of that. So as you are doing that, you are letting them know the importance of controlling your emotions. As I said, we all feel the emotions, but the problem is with how we are able to regulate the emotions that we feel. And another thing we can also do is let me talk about this. When you are doing storytelling, you can choose maybe a book and you can read together, okay, so that you will be able to pinpoint those places where they need to about that talks about emotions. And you can also, I've said that you can use real life stories to do that. And you can also do emotional flashcards. One of the things we are doing are emotional flashcards. These flashcards, are cards. You can actually do them yourself in your home. You can use cards, boxes, those things that you do when you are done using them, you throw them away. No, you can reuse those things. So in a way, you are teaching your children also about recycling. You don't need to throw away everything after using. You can use them to do something. Most of the creative activities we do in our home, sometimes after using a particular item, the boxes, we don't throw them away. We use them. We keep the puzzles. We use how do you call it, sellotape, okay, and we keep particular items in them. We don't just throw things away. So you can use the emotion flashcards. You create cards with different emotions on it. You explain, let's say you put a particular emotion on the card. You cut them, first of all, you cut them and then you can use a pen or a marker or anything to write a particular emotion, and then you explain, how someone, when you are feeling that emotion, how it's like, okay, for the child to know, okay, so this is what happens when, if I'm angry or if I'm excited, this is how I feel. So whenever they feel that emotion, they know that, okay, this is an emotion of excitement, or this is an emotion of maybe frustration or whatever. You help the child. So those flashcards, every time you can set a time or a day in your home that you can go to those cards and study or learn. And then when you learn, as you are learning, you are role playing for the child to also know, about the different kinds of emotions that we have. You need to practice daily. It's very, very important. And then sometimes, to as parents, when we make mistakes, let us admit that we have made mistakes. Maybe something happened, you couldn't actually control yourself. Let your child know that, oh, I was angry. Most of the times, when I, sometimes when I go off, I admit, I tell them, yes, I couldn't control myself in this case, but I am sorry. I will do better. So what do you think I should have done to control myself, earlier? Then we talk about it. So it helps them know that we are also, as humans, we are, or as adults, we also make mistakes sometimes. And it's okay to admit, to own the mistakes that you make, and then, repair them, because we are not perfect. We all make mistakes. So when you do that, you are teaching your child so many things, just, from one thing. So let us admit, and also, whenever they put up a certain kind of emotion, let us, instead of we getting angry all over the place, let them know that, no, this emotion that you felt, I understand you were angry, and that is why you acted that way. But you also know that you can actually control how you feel. Validate their emotions. Don't make it feel like you have no right to feel this emotion that you are feeling, because they have the right to. They are human beings too. As parents, we cry sometimes. Sometimes we are sad. Sometimes we are frustrated. We don't know what to do. Like, we also feel those emotions. So as kids, they also have the right to feel that emotion. Let us validate the emotions, and then we can help them. Because when we validate, they feel like, okay, so it's okay to feel that emotion. But there's also a way to go about it. There's also a way to go about it. And another thing we can do also is that we need to teach them journaling. You can have a small notebook. Okay, journaling will also be ready soon. You can have a small notebook where, yes, a small notebook, and they will write daily how they felt. Children in their reading minds, we did a simple emotions journal for them to use. Okay, it was for a week. It was a way of creating self-awareness when you do that. So you can, in the small notebook, you can just write maybe how you felt today, and what triggered that feeling, and maybe what you did when you felt that emotion. As they are writing about their emotions, they are becoming aware of the emotions that they are feeling. You may think it's not necessary. You may think like that, but you are helping the child actually become more self-aware. And that is when they can actually begin, when they know, they when they are writing or they are feeling their emotions journal, they are reflecting, okay, what happened in the day? Did I feel any form of emotion at all? What did I do? What actually triggered that emotion? They are reflecting on what happened during the day. And if they begin to recognize or think, maybe this is how I felt, maybe my friend picked up something that they weren't supposed to take. They didn't inform me, and I got angry. And this is what I did. What can I do better next time? So it may take a while. And yes, it's going to take time. But trust me, as you keep doing it, you will help the child to be able to control themselves tomorrow. In the long term, they will be able to control themselves. So you can get an emotions journal, a small notebook for them, with a pen. Maybe once in the whole week, they can just put down something that they felt. So maybe at the end of the week or Friday evenings can be a time where they feel their emotions journal, and then they write. You can guide them till they perfect that. Okay, so it gets to a time they may not need you to be there before they feel that journal that they have to feel. It's a process, and you need to let it become part of them so that they can actually understand it too and practice without you. We need to encourage journaling. It's something that I can't, tell. I always tell parents that the things you are doing, you are teaching your child to journal about, you are actually building a great skill in them that you may not be aware of. It may seem tiring. Sometimes, you don't want to do that and all of that, but please help them. That is why I say you don't have to do it every day. You can set a time in the whole week to be able to do that. And you set an alarm. Alarm is something that I use every like, because it reminds me of the things that I have to do, the important things that I have to do. So you can also do same and help your child. You can encourage. Another thing you can do is encourage open communication. Allow your child, okay, to be able to come to you as a parent to tell you how you are feeling, how they are feeling, by not shutting them up or down. Whenever they come to you, you don't put them off. You don't invalidate their emotion. You don't tell them that you have no right to feel the way you feel and all of that. If we accept, okay, if we validate, if we, whenever they feel anything, if we provide a safe space for them, they are able to come to us to tell us about whatever thing that they feel. They are able to freely come to us without not being afraid, because they know that if there's chaos everywhere, going to mommy, going to daddy is a safe place for me to go. Let's give our children, let them have that feeling that whenever they are in danger, we are their safest place that they can be. There are some children, they wish they are even 18 years, even 15, for them to leave home, because the kind of things they experience with their parents, it's actually something that they want to, like, they want to run away from. Why do you want to give, or do you give your child that feeling? Let us embrace them, whatever they are. However you describe your child, however you think your child is, you can actually begin to make a change in their attitudes, in their behaviors. And it all starts with you. If you decide that you are going to get better, you are going to learn to be able to help that child, the misbehaviors they are putting up is a way that they are communicating to you that they need help. They are being, unable to control their emotions is a way they are communicating to you that they need help. So why do we beat people who, tell us they need help? Why do we shout at them? When we do that, we are sucking them. We are telling them to go to other people. We can't help them. That is what we do. I can't help you. Go away. And they tend to trust people, other people. So what I most of the time ask myself is, if I am not being the safe place for my child, if my child is, wants to always speak to someone else, who are they talking to? Who are they going to? And the person they are talking to, is the person a person that I share the same values with? Is the person, who has the kind of mindset I have when it comes to parenting? If it's no, then please begin from today. Okay. I always say it is a process. You work on yourself one day at a time. If you have to read, read. If you have to learn, learn. If you have to be listening to these, live classes, if you have to join the inner tribe to learn more, please do. Please do. We don't become perfect just, by growing. Sometimes we say that we get perfect as we grow. No, whether you get perfect or you become, a parent who is intentional, a parent who knows what they are doing, it all depends on what you are doing tomorrow or today. It depends on what you are doing tomorrow and what you are learning, the things that you are, getting. So this is where I want us to end today's class, and I believe that it has been helpful. So before I end it, I want to add one thing that we can do to help our children build their emotional skills. You can provide a safe space, okay, in your home where the children, anytime the children are feeling any form of emotion, you can maybe get a couch, okay, you put it somewhere cool place in your home, and then you can put some pillows in them, soft pillows, where the child, whenever they feel any form of emotion, let them go to the couch. You can name the place an emotional, this is our emotional space, or maybe a place where we calm down corner or something. And then you teach them that anytime you feel any form of emotion, instead of you reacting and shouting and beating and all of that, just walk straight into this place and relax, sit down, take some deep breathe in, breathe out exercise. They can count from 1 to 10. They can blow the candle and smell the flower. As I said the other time, they can do that, and it will help them as they are doing it them gradually. It will help them. So whenever they feel any emotion, they will just walk straight to that space and then calm down, sit down, relax. And then when they are fine, they will come and then we will talk about, what happened. So emotional intelligence is a survival skill. Without this skill, we can't actually be successful in life. It affects our businesses. As I said, some people lose opportunities because they are not emotionally intelligent. We don't have to lose things that we can actually work on. So let's work on ourselves to get better. And note that the emotions we feel are not bad, is not the issue. But the real issue is how we are able to regulate those emotions, how we are able to put ourselves in place to check ourselves to make sure that we put things in order. And note that emotional intelligence is not about you suppressing your emotions. No, it's about you knowing when to respond. It's about you knowing the emotions you are feeling, what is triggering that emotion, and what you can actually do to calm down and then talk about the problem or talk about the issue in a way that is more that will not cause any sort of chaos or anything. So it's important that we learn about emotional intelligence. Parents in the inner tribe are going to have a course, and this course, unfortunately, we are not selling, is not open to everyone, unfortunately. But maybe next year we will make it open to all parents who are also not in the inner tribe to also begin to learn things about emotional intelligence. So this is where I want us to end. I believe this class has been, we've learned something. I believe we've learned something from this class. So I will see you again next week. Next week, we're going to have another class. It will be our final class because next week is the end of the month, I assume. So we are going to, from next month, begin to talk about more about sex conversations because that is the month that we are talking about. We are having that course in the next month, end of the month. And it's also our focus in the inner tribe next month. So we are going to give some free classes, but I'll encourage you to join the Mastering Sex Conversations with Your Child course. I will encourage you to join it. And if you are bringing 5 people to register, you are going to have it for free. You are going to have that class for free. So please take note of that. And you are getting, don't forget the freebies that is coming along with the class. Okay. I will encourage you, once you see the payment details, everything is open, you need to do the registration because as time goes on, the prices are also going to change. So you need to take advantage of it when registration opens. So thank you so much for joining me. I don't take your time for granted. I really, really appreciate and I honor you for being here. Thank you so much. And you can share the link with other parents. You can always catch replay. It's a free class. So it's always going to be here. Once you come to our YouTube page, you can learn from all the classes that we have had. Okay. And I really appreciate you being here. So see you again next week and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye bye to you all.